Hello everybody, I am Razorblade Mango, and this is me playing Star Wars Battlefront, which is the newest game from DICE in EA, and the first game in EA's 10-year Star Wars game deal with Disney. So, I've actually recorded this commentary, this is my 4th time doing it, because I don't know. I still can't even really express the right words to what I can say about Star Wars Battlefront. But then it kind of hit me. I really can explain this very simply with a really good comparison that I came up with while recording it for the 3rd time. So, this game is like a really average car that's been given the most beautiful paint job one can possibly imagine. I mean, a paint job that would make anybody lose their shit. That would just make anybody fall to their knees and look at this car. This car is amazing. That's just the way it looks. It's everything a car should be. It's beautiful. It's just wow! And then, when you actually start to drive it, and you take it around the block a few times, testing everything out that it's got to offer, there's that sinking feeling in the pit of your gut, where you realize, hey, I'm just driving a regular old car. And that feeling just basically just takes over your entire experience of what you're doing. And a lot of that is similar with my experience with Star Wars Battlefront, where I went into this, when I first started this up, I was in the beta, I was blown away by how amazing this game looked. I mean, it's very stable 60 frames per second. I don't think it's full 1080p on the PS4 or the Xbox One, but I guess that's the resolution was sacrificed in favor of the frame rate, which, you know, is okay with me when it comes to shooters. And I was just like, wow, this is so cool, and I booted up, the first few, missions that they have you do in the single player, and I tried my hand at, actually, Fighter Squadron, which you're watching right now, is the first mode that I tried out. And, like I said, I was just astonished by how beautiful the game looked. But that honeymoon phase came and went pretty quickly when I realized that in my 5 to 6 hours of playing it, I had pretty much sampled... Yes, and I did just kill myself there. I had pretty much sampled everything that this game had to offer. And it was a weird feeling. I was playing... I forget which mode it was. I think it might have been Walker Assault or Supremacy, one of the big 40-player map modes in this game. And I started to realize, I feel like I've done this already. And I'm already kind of bored of it. I'm already kind of tired. And that's not a feeling that I should be getting with a $60 mainly multiplayer only experience. And it's also strange, a lot of my concerns that I had voiced during when the details of this game were first revealed at Star Wars Celebration in April, about the lack of a true single-player campaign, the lack of space battles, the lack of galactic conquest, the lack of instant action, a lot of the modes that people love about Star Wars Battlefront and Star Wars Battlefront 2, they're in the game. And the game could have used them, because it suffers from what ultimately feels like a lack of inspiration on DICE's part. And don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure DICE are huge Star Wars fans. That's very evident by how meticulously, almost obsessively, they recreate every little detail about George Lucas's universe, especially the original trilogy. And just the way, like, little things in the environment are created, like the sounds, the way the trees move on Endor, the way the snow blows on Hoth, the way the sand dunes are portrayed on Tatooine. There's just so much love and care into the visual design that ends up becoming the game's biggest problem, because, like, weirdly enough, to me, this game is like the single player. I mean, it's like a multiplayer version of The Order 1886. Both games, beautiful visuals, a very, very, very stellar attention to detail, and making it look and sound next gen. But all of that effort is all of that really doesn't mean much in the end, when the meat and potatoes of the game are just thrown out the window in favor of looking pretty. And that's the problem with Star Wars Battlefront. It just looks pretty. It doesn't offer anything, thoroughly substantial to sustain you for, I don't know, months on end. Even if you were to never buy the ridiculously overpriced expansions, or even download the free Battle of Jakku pack, for this experience, for this $60 experience, there is not enough here to justify purchasing it. Maybe as a rental it would work, like what I did. I didn't buy this game. I rented it from Redbox at 5 o'clock in the morning. But it was just strange that even though everything that this game, I should be loving this game, it's definitely making my inner Star Wars kid go bananas just looking at it. But then adulthood sinks in, and the fact that I don't review games just because of presentation. If I scored games, my criteria was just mainly about was just all about visuals, this game would be the best game of the year. It'd be top of its class. But that's the problem. It's so beautiful, and yet there's just nothing to sustain it underneath. There are a few things that keep it going. Like I said, some of the modes are definitely, some of the modes are better than others. My two in particular that I really enjoyed, Fire Squadron, like I said, which I really, really like, and Drop Zone I really like as well, which is what you're watching right now, and Hero Hunt, which is kind of like what Evolve tried to be, but failed spectacularly. And Star Wars did it in one mode, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Heroes versus Villains, it's kind of about that. What's weird is, like, Walker Assault and Supremacy should be the modes that I'm playing the most often, because they're like the big 40-player experiences that DICE is touting. But I don't know, they just feel the same after a while. And there aren't a lot of maps to support either of those modes. There's not a lot going on mechanics-wise. It's just the same old run around, get shot, blown up, run around, respawn, run around, respawn. There's the only objective you really get is just, push forward, defend this, shoot that. And it just starts to feel, you feel that lack of inspiration in your gut, because everything that you're seeing has been done multiple times before, done a lot better, and the games that I've played this year, like a certain alpha that I still can't talk about, have sold me on what a great multiplayer experience can be like. And that didn't suffer for visuals at all. I mean, that was an amazing visual experience. They both are. But while the certain alpha that I played, had that meat and potatoes with the multiplayer, and where I could definitely see myself sinking hundreds of hours into it, Star Wars Battlefront just doesn't have that. And it brings up the discussion of, will these $60 mainly multiplayer only games, how well do they bode in the console market? I mean, we've seen it before this year, actually. We saw Evolve come out, which was supposed to be the next big thing, and that flopped hard. That community is dead. We saw it last year with Titanfall, where Titanfall came out, and didn't exactly flop, but no one really talks about it, no one really plays it anymore. Both games, and including Battlefront, all three were hyped up to be this astonishing experience based on, you know, like a small gimmick, but it just lacks that special something that's going to keep me going back. And unfortunately, I will not probably go back. I might fire it up a little bit more just so I can try out the single player stuff a bit more, because most of my time has been spent in multiplayer, but I'm just not feeling it, guys. And I definitely don't think it's worth $60. Hell, I mean, if this had come out for $20, $25, hey, I'd say definitely pick it up. That'd be worth it. But $60? Unfortunately not. And I waited 10 years for this game. And to quote Obi-Wan Kenobi, to borrow a line from him, this is not the game I'm looking for. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Have a good one.